Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 6 of Nuclear Earth Reirradiated. At the end of last video, I moved the world over to a server, so it's not immediately obvious, but when we go look at, say, the output chest here, there's a whole lot of steel. Basically all the iron that I had queued up had smelted into steel, and it looks like I queued up a little bit of extra coal to make into coal coke as well. There were a few changes I had to make along with that. At one point, this pack does not feature a fluid trash can, at least not one that I can make yet. So the excess creosote here, I have to actually burn off somehow. There's no trash can, but there is a void bin thingy from, not that bin. The only thing that, at least I could find in this pack that can destroy fluids is the universal bin. There's an item trash can or item trash chest, but it doesn't work for fluids. So anyways, to make my coker oven run almost all the time, I added a semi-fluid generator here that just literally burns the creosote off for RF. But because our energy network is also saturated, this thing won't generate energy if I just connect it to the cables because there's nowhere for the energy to go. So I gave it its own pseudo-energy trash can. A grinder crushes iron dust into iron, or iron ingots into iron dust. A furnace turns the dust back into an ingot, and it repeats as a trash can of sorts. This system is just about able to keep up with the creosote production. It keeps my coke oven running most of the time. Anyways, the other thing that happened was obviously because the world's been running for the last about 24 hours, probably a bit less than that, I have a full chest and then some of mining output. So there's a whole lot of, say, iron, gold, redstone. These are the important things right now. There's a little bit of emerald, that's very good. A fair bit of diamond, that's very good. I do need a way to process these right now. Like if I could grind them for 2, that's probably the best I can do. I don't have a starlight infuser yet. These are just chance outputs. So yeah, don't have a mechanical squeezer, don't have a sag mill. 16, no, it's 666 to make a ingot, right? Yeah, okay, that's only 2 then. No, that's more than 2. Oh, the melter has more than 2 XCO. Oh, whatever, we can get a bit more than 2 by processing, some of these ores. I don't have a fortune tool yet, is what I'm getting at, I guess. Well, oh wait, now that I have emeralds, I can make a fortune tool, can't I? Let's make the Dark Seal Enchanter. The reason I needed emeralds to make the book, I think, is that the Fortune 3 book uses, I think it's 3 emeralds and 27 levels. So in an effort to not waste EXP, I'm going to stash my extra EXP into my Tome of Knowledge here, which also uses emeralds, by the way. Emeralds are great. I guess it'll use 2 emeralds. Alright, well anyways, now I need an anvil. Can't use that as an anvil. I need to make an actual anvil. And I think we may as well make a new pickaxe because my current one is just about spent. So we can enchant you with 6 levels. And let's see. 1, 2, 6. Upgrade you. Give Fortune 3. We can also get Unbreaking if I want, but I don't think my levels quite go that far. What does it take to get Unbreaking 3? 3 obsidian and 18 levels? That's not bad. The book and quill recipe is very nice that we can use the sketching pencil because, well, feathers are very hard to come by right now. In fact, I don't think I can make feathers yet, but thankfully the sketching pencil is a viable alternative. Make ourselves another book, and then how many levels do I need for this time? 3. Give me 1, 2, 3 levels. I love the Tome of Knowledge. It makes it so easy to not waste any EXP. Alright, so that's a pretty good book, I think. We can then put away our other pickaxe. And hopefully I don't accidentally waste all the durability on this one by right-clicking it in places to drop cakes. But with Fortune 3 on it now, I think when we mine these, yeah, we get way more than 2 average. Well, we get a little bit more than 2 average. But it's a good way just to bust open all of our ores. For now. even though it is not quite fully automated. With regards to the mining laser, I believe I also misspoke about where we had to put it. So I thought that the mining level that it effectively mined at was based on where literally you put it. You just have to actually set the mining level by picking the number in the UI here. So if we want our laser to get different materials, we can, right, but depending on the ranges, we get like different weights and stuff. We can actually set that value by just clicking these buttons. So I didn't have to build it down here, but since it's already built, I'm not going to tear it down. It's going to live down here and it's set up and working. So I'm just going to leave good enough alone. Anyways, let's move on to today's challenges. Let's start off by making a whole bunch of these rad rolls. Is it a shaped recipe? No, it appears to be shapeless, but I still need... Who has spare speed upgrades? At this point, now that I have plenty of resources, it's probably actually worth making a set of speed upgrades for every machine, so I don't have to play this whole move the overclockers around thing. But rad rolls here, they're slightly better than 2 cooked mushrooms, and they just provide improved radiation resistance and radiation removal. Like the mushrooms, they can be eaten while our food is full, so they can keep our radiation manageable. 2 more, just so I have one neat stack of it. I probably will go through this entire stack today just to keep like the background radiation away, even if I don't visit any radiation hotspots. Next up, now that I have a whole bunch of raw resources, basically eliminating the need to go mining, or at least largely eliminating the need to go mining, I would like to start getting into applied energistics just to manage my inventory for me. Not even for auto-crafting. Auto-crafting can wait. But I'd like to have a single unified inventory that holds all my stuff. So for that, let's look at the advanced or applied energistics quests. There's one quest open here, but I don't think that's where we're supposed to start. We're supposed to start here. And the requirements for this are aluminum and acquiring the resources from or acquiring fluix crystals. So that requires charged certus. Actually, why is there a dependency on... Why does this have a slime dependency? I guess we'll find out as we go. Do you require slime? No. It does require aluminum, but we've made some aluminum and we can make more. I don't actually know. Is aluminum ore one of the things we dug up, or we have to process bauxite? Is this alphabetical? No, it isn't. No aluminum. Oh, no bauxite even. That's a shame. So I guess this miner is... Or maybe I'm just not digging in the right places? Let's see. Aluminum ore can be dug from 68 through 84 only. I'm gonna head down there again and bump our Y level up actually to get some aluminum ore. Because aluminum ore is much easier to get aluminum from aluminum than it is from bauxite. But anyways, we're also going to have to go visit an applied energistics meteor to go find the presses. And to do that, we found some before, so... Oh, when I switched my world to a server, I forgot to copy my journey map over. Oh well, let's just fly up and explore a bit. I'm sure we'll run into them easy enough. They're easy to spot from the sky. I recall there was one that we had previously seen near the Nether Mountain, and I'm pretty sure the Nether Mountain's this way. But there's not exactly a lot of landmarks to use around here, so I could be wrong. Anyways, there's my memory. We can also make a Meteorite Compass if it comes to it to find more of these. Have we checked? Are these sites extra radiated? No, they appear to have background radiation levels. Alright. Ooh, this rock is hard. Anyways, down in here somewhere is a chest. I clearly missed it. That it? And in it we have one of the presses. My goal is to find all 4. There's no other way to make these, right? Yeah, they just have to be found. To find more, I actually want to make the Meteorite Compass. However, the Meteorite Compass uses a piece of charged certus quartz, and I apparently have exactly 1 piece of charged certus to my name. So if I use this piece of charged certus to make... Not how you make flicks. If I use this piece of charged certus to make to make the Meteorite Compass, I don't have any charge Certus to make Fluid Swiss. What am I doing wrong? Charge Certus? Is my magnet just interfering? Okay, magnet. Go away, would ya? Charge Certus, Nether Quartz, Redstone. Do the thing. Okay. It takes a little bit longer than the magnet gives it. But anyways, if I make 2 pieces of Fluix, I can then make the charger with 5 iron, and then charge more Certus, and then make the Meteorite Compass. And while I don't have much charge Certus, I do have Certus ore, which I believe I can get 3 average with the industrial grinder, but I think fortune, well, I had some in my inventory to begin with, so I have 42 now. Plus 3 blocks gave me 50, so that was, what, 8? Ah, that was worse than 3 average. I'll test a bit to see whether it's... That was another 8? Maybe it is better to industrial grinder it. Oh, that was a lot more than... That was a lot that time. I don't know, it's close enough either way, it probably doesn't matter. Drop off the Certus into here. Set your conduits. And then the charger is a little unique insofar as it only accepts energy in the top. It also only accepts items in the top. And then it only outputs items in the bottom. So anyways, why are you not... There we go. So you have to input items and energy the same side. So make sure you use something that's capable of doing that, like Ender IO conduits. Anyways, that gets us more charge Certus, which makes... Dun, 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 a Meteorite Compass. And this should point to the nearest meteor. The upside of the compass is that it includes underground meteors. So just because we can't see it with our eyes, right, if it's buried underground, this thing can still find it. It does make flying a little bit difficult. It also points in the, direct direction, and it doesn't quite understand that I probably don't want to go into the radioactive bog. But this area here, while it's slightly higher radiation, I think I can deal with it. So anyways, when you're in a chunk that has a meteorite, it spins. So usually what I do is I try to find the corner. So like that chunk has it, this chunk has it. So it's somewhere along the intersection here. And let's see. This chunk does, this chunk does. Okay, so it's in the intersection of these 4 chunks. I'm going to dig in this one because those 2 chunks over there are more radioactive. And then if you dig down a ways, you'll either fall into lava or find your meteor. Here it is. And then the chest is always in the center of it. So if you approximately identify the shape of the meteor, you can try to minimize the amount of time we spend in the death chunks. But it should be in there somewhere. Found it. And we have 3. Oh, wow. We have the 3 we were missing even. So between 2 meteors, we're able to find all 4 presses. That's about as lucky as you can ever get, I think. I'm not sure if it's possible to get all 4 presses in one. I've never done it. But very rarely do I get all 4 presses in 2. Next up, we have to make the Energy Acceptor. This is how you power an ME system. So that's why we need the aluminum, and this is what, quartz? I think I just started processing some quartz. The industrial grinder here gives us better quartz yield than what I could get with a pickaxe. And apparently that completes our task. So crush it, and then I guess we just grind it again. You get crushed quartz? Looks good to me. We can't smelt that. Oh, wait. We can smelt that. Don't do that. I'm going to need that silicon eventually, but not quite yet. Probably also a better way to get silicon. 1 Energy Acceptor coming right up. Now let's get into... Yeah, so that completes that quest, which gets us into here. Alright. This needs the glass cables, so for this I may as well make pure Fluix crystals. The turning regular crystals into pure crystals just doubles your effective yield. So for that, the Fluix seed is easy to make, but we need to make the growth chamber for it. So this is just, well, I guess we have to make some with regular crystals just to make the growth chamber. You could just use a bunch of, wait. Crystal growth accelerator. Oh no, I was looking at the accelerator recipe. You could forego the chamber and just make it with a bunch of accelerators. What you have to do is throw the crystals into a puddle of water surrounded by accelerators, and they'll gradually turn into the pure crystal. However, doing it without doing it with the accelerator is both slower and a lot clunkier than doing it in the chamber, where you can just do it all in item form. So while this is a bit more expensive material wise, it's what, like 6 blocks of this, it's a price that I can swallow. The crystal growth chamber does have to be powered through applied energistics power, so we need the energy acceptor for this, although that sounds like a somewhat obvious statement. My point is it can't be powered with other forms of RF. So yeah, this is only like kind of in the way, right? Eh, this will do for now. This also means we don't have to go jumping into water to pick stuff up, because jumping into water exposes us to more radiation. So anyways, take these leftover Lux crystals. For almost all recipes, it's better to turn the crystal into a pure crystal before using it, because you just get twice as much yield. Alright, so pulverize it, and then get some sand. Sand is interesting in this pack. The grinder here, by jamming this, oh, I guess it is jammed. When it pulverizes cobblestone, it actually pulverizes cobblestone directly into sand. I don't know why the grinder skips gravel, but yeah, it makes it very easy to make sand. And glass by extension. If I throw cobble in here and I don't jam the furnace, I get glass. And if I do jam the furnace, I get sand. Woohoo. Without acceleration cards, which this thing supports up to 3 of, the growth chamber is not like super fast, but it's still at least as fast as throwing it in the water. So this will grow the seeds. Along the way, we completed the quest for this thing, made the cable. Next up, it looks like we have to make the 3 processors. So let's take a look at the processor recipes. I assume these are so this is a standard, wait. There's no machines listed here. This is one way to make them. They use redstone. Ah, that's why there's a slime dependency here. It takes slime to make redstone paste. But it looks like the other way to do it is the inscriber disabled. Inscriber, no, wait. Advanced inscriber. It appears like the inscriber is disabled. I feel like such a fool for going out to get the presses now. And just when I thought my luck was good. Funny that. But yeah, it looks like the advanced inscriber is disabled, probably because the regular inscriber is disabled. So we have to handcraft the processors. This is actually probably cheaper this way. So all 3 processors, yeah, they're the same materials as you would normally do. 1 ingot, 1 silicon, 1 redstone. But you have to add on, I guess, like 1/8 of a slime ball and another redstone. But then instead of having to go through the slow inscribing process, you can just handcraft them. So this is probably easier than the standard way, with the exception that we need slime. So how am I going to get my slime? If I do a little bit of Botania, we can very easily transmute cactus to slime, and I made of cactus. Alternatively, we could industrial grinder 16 magma for 1 magma cream to get 1 slime ball out of it. I do have some magma. What exactly does a slime quest say? I did complete it, I think because it counted my pink slime as a slime ball. Slime can be found everywhere, however, they seem to be very rare. Finding a biome rich in slimes will probably solve this problem. Once I have a yada yada yada. So I guess it wants me to find a rich biome. Does this thing accept any slime, or is it... No, it has to be vanilla slime ball. But I think we can transmute any slime into vanilla slime balls. Yeah. Craft it into this and then uncraft this back into vanilla slime. Alright, so of these, rice slime would be great, except I don't think we can get rice. Pink slime is okay, but I have to... It's a little slow to spawn them. Adhesive is a pain in the butt to make. And that just leaves slime balls. Alright, I guess we're going to do a little bit of Botania to transmute cactus to slime. Last time we looked at Botania, which was a couple episodes ago, we stopped at the pure daisy because I didn't have the white petals to make it. The white petal comes from white flower, and while these do generate, they are relatively rare. Or maybe they don't generate, I don't know, I don't see any. Anyways, we could get it from the void ore miner or void botanical miner, but it's easier to just make the fertilizer now. So I didn't make this before because I was short on bone meal. However, I came up with, well, I didn't come up with that idea. I remembered a thing, and that is that this pack has the lens of color. So I always forget about this thing. It's honestly borderline cheating, but the lens of color lets you change between various forms of dye. So if you make one, it's just black quartz surrounded by Let's see, a piece of black quartz surrounded by a whole bunch of glass. Why is glass in my crafted chest? You belong in here. 8. We can make a basic lens. Take the lens, this goes on the atomic reconstructor. That's on this side of the atomic reconstructor. Cue it once, becomes a lens of color. Now with the lens of color, we can take any dye, and conveniently enough, we can grow green dye in our garden closures, right? So I'm swimming in green dye. Roll that in front of here. In fact, I'm going to create a little box, I think, to keep everything nice and contained. So that nothing hopefully jumps out of the box. And I can transmute between all the types of dye, so that turns it into, I assume those are cocoa beans? Lapis. This is a very easy way to get lapis. Purple dye. Cyan. Anyways, go through the colors enough times. Eventually, we'll end up at white. If I need any other colors of dye too, like this is a very easy way to make them. There's what, like 16 colors? So it might only go through the vanilla colors, although I think every dye has a vanilla color. In any event, here we go. Tons of bone meal, and this is honest to goodness bone meal. It's not just dye, right? It's probably why Minecraft has separated, in later versions, separates dye from the things that can become dye. I mean, obviously the lens of color is a modded thing, but whatever. Anyways, can I just use a whole bunch of bone meal for this? Is this like... Yeah, that works. So because these are any colors of dye, we can make floral fertilizer. Then I just need a little patch of dirt. Probably don't need this tree anymore. I'll talk about that tree there. Have I finished processing my plastic? Yeah, I have a whole lot of plastic and it looks like I am out of wood. So maybe at some point I'll have to plant more, but I think this is plenty for now. All right, chop a tree without an axe. Then you can just right-click this on dirt, and it spawns all variety of flowers. So this should get us, at least it should be able to get us all 16 colors of flowers. And there's a bunch of individual tasks there. I'm gonna probably grab, oh, here's a crate. We can hold the ball. Once we have all 16 colors, then there's an easier way for us to duplicate a specific color. Well, let's first get at least one of each. Didn't even take all of my floral fertilizer, but here it is. All 16 colors of flower. Then we can take the flower, pluck their petals off, and then replant the petal. And then grow the petal with bone meal. I believe this step does require bone meal. It'll never grow on its own to get tall flowers. Then if we shear those, I probably have shears somewhere. I'll avoid making an extra set. But then on the other hand, I have to find them. Shears, please. That is not the chest for you to be in. This is why I need applied energistics. I will never be able to find my stuff. We can get them back, and then now when we pluck their petals off, we get 4 petals per. So we can basically turn one piece of bone meal into 3 petals. And using our petals, we toss 4 of them into the petal apothecary. Get some seeds, followed by a single seed, and that makes us a pure daisy. So repeat this process a few more times. We probably don't need 4 pure daisies, but I'm going to make 4 of them anyways because they're cheap. Real quick, are there other uses for these other than the standard recipes to make living stone, living rock? These are all regular. Blaze mesh to obsidian seems like an awful deal, and water to snow seems like a bad deal. So no, nothing special here. All right. Next, let's open the Botania tab here. Ooh, we get a flower pouch. Oh, that holds all the flowers. Well, don't need you anymore. Anyways, next step is to make living rock, living stone, and the mana bits. Let's start by setting up an automated system to make living rock and living stone. Overall, I'd say there are two main classes of pure daisy automation, either timer-based or filter-based. Since the last time I did it, I did the filter-based variant. This time I'll do it timer-based. So the way it works is that it relies on the fact that the pure daisy takes exactly 1 minute to do its work. from the time the block that you want to transform is placed next to it to the time that that job is done is exactly 1 minute. Then if you set a timer for slightly more than that, you place your blocks, wait just over a minute, and you know that your work will be done. All right, so the idea then, or that's the idea. To actually place the block, I have a whole bunch of auto placers. These just are on deactivation mode, which means they are always on. And then to pick up the blocks, I have a bunch of auto breakers on pulse mode. So when they receive a redstone signal, they will break the block. To supply items to the auto placers, they do have large internal buffers. I just have a input buffer chest that extracts on round robin. So if I turn this on, that side places wood. This side places, whoopsies, need a wrong button. Leave round robin on, turn that on. This side places stone. Once all those are placed, I can start my timer. So I believe this starts the timer for, I set it to 1300 ticks, which is just over a minute. It's a minute and, 5 seconds? Just to have a little bit of a buffer window, although the buffer window is technically not necessary. In a minute and 5 seconds, we should see a redstone pulse go to this, redstone, break the blocks. Then the products will be picked up. Oh, there it goes. So the first cycle is actually out of sync between the places and the breakers. That's why it actually fired off early, and we got cobblestone and wood back. The wood technically can just go back in here. Cobblestone, unfortunately, does have to be resmelted because auto breakers are not silk touched. But whatever. Now, in about a minute, the transformation step will actually finish. Oh, in fact, I guess we broke and replaced the logs so quickly that the pure daisy didn't even notice that the item was taken away. At least in some of these cases. Anyways, right, that is the case, right? All these are receiving signals. Yeah, we did get 8 pieces back. Kind of funny. But any second now, we should observe the breakers actually break. So what you saw there earlier was like the startup desync. The first cycle is out of sync between the places and breakers, and whatever. It's a small problem. I am not going to bother fixing it. Anyways, all we have to do is drop off wood in here. It can be any type of wood. Doesn't have to be oak wood. But here we go. 1, 2, there we go. And we get living wood in here, living rock in here. But yeah, it doesn't have to be oak wood. It can be any wood. Oak is just easiest for me to collect right now. I do need a tree farm at some point. But anyways, it has to be stone. But stone's very easy to make because I have a cobblestone generator. So let's grab this and that. Thank you, quests. Then we have to make mana spreader, endoflame, wand, and a mana pool. Do we get all 3 of these rewards? Ooh. The wand needs some living wood, and then the mana pool, it's just some living stone, and an inventory slot. Ditch the torch. Then we can combine this with any 2 petals of your choice. The petals choose the color of your wand to make a wand of the forest. All right, so now that we're here, we just have to make the endoflame. Well, I guess we have to make the spreader too. Let's start with the endoflame. The endoflame makes mana from burning any burnable furnace fuel. It doesn't make a lot of mana, so generally speaking, you need a relatively high number of them. For now, I'm going to start with... I'm actually not quite sure how many I have materials for right now. A lot. So let's see. Get out of my inventory. I think 8. We're going to start with 8. And they should be a solid early game mana generation. But we'll definitely want upgraded systems later on. So, I wish we had reservoirs in the pack. Reservoirs make this process so much easier. Apparently, where it says right-click with an empty hand, you can actually right-click with seeds. So that does make things easier as well. Anyways, I also did my math wrong. I think I was making 16, not 8. I don't actually know how I'm going to make enough fuel to power all 16, because I definitely don't make enough coal for it, but... we'll find a way. Oh, I think that's all of them. Nope, one more set of materials. No? What? How did it... Why is my petal apothecary not accepting items? I don't think I actually put a bucket of water in there. He sinks. There we go. All right. So that's... Where did they go? 16 Endoflames. Lastly, the mana spreader. Working off the top of my head for the recipe here. I think it's any petal. We can use these mushrooms as a replacement for petals. A gold nugget. And some living wood. Gold ingot. But 1 mana spreader. Alright. So that gets us the mana-y bits. We'll call these metals for now. This is actually about as far as we have to go for now, I believe. The goal was originally to make the alchemy catalyst, and yeah, we just need living rock and a mana pore. In fact, I don't even technically have to make mana because the quest gave me this. So why don't we just set this aside, and we'll get back to Botania again later. Let's go continue our astral, or not our astral sorcery, our applied energistics journey. Sometimes I think I just turn my brain off and say things without thinking about what I'm saying. We can't, like, we can make the alchemy catalyst, yeah, but we actually have to use the alchemy catalyst to make slime. My goal wasn't just to make one. So I do actually have to make mana. For then, let's set up a little place back here. I don't think the flowers mind the cold. I mean, they don't mind the snow at the very least. Here, we can replace our farm that we don't need anymore with a mana farm. The grinder is nice enough to turn coal ore into 3 coal for us, which I think is better than what we get if we try to mine it. Probably should have checked that for sure, but the best option is definitely the mechanical press or mechanical squeezer, which gets 6.5, but I can't make that yet. The regular squeezer is better too, and I guess I technically could almost make that, but whatever. I want to make just some blocks of coal to use as fuel for our endoflames for now. We won't be able to feed them long term with this, but at least in the short term this will do. I think long term, if I want to stick to endoflames, I'm going to just set up a tree farm and turn the wood into charcoal and yada yada yada. But let's not worry about the distant future when we have the present to worry about. So with this we can grow, let's see, I have 16, so 16 blocks. And let's be rid of that silly magnet. Soon we can make the Botania Magnet, which is both smarter insofar as when you drop an item, it turns itself off for, I don't know, like 5-10 seconds. And secondly, we can make Solganias to disable the magnet in an area. So we can make it so that, like, anything that requires dropping items. Did I not put my magnet? Be gone, magnet. That's how little I want you. But the Solgania can turn off the magnet in an area. So for automation or for systems like this, we can just be like, nope, no magnet. All right. Then those send mana to the mana spreader, which has to get linked to the mana pool, which shoots mana into the mana pool. Then we can make we can make mana steel with this. Do we have to use steel? Nope, we actually have to use iron. Good. I hate when mana steel uses steel. But that lets us make mana steel, and perhaps more importantly, it lets us make slime balls. So I'm going to grab a stack of iron and stack of cactus to turn into slime. The amount of mana that this operation uses, as shown here in JAI, is zoomed in, I believe, to be 10x, at least 10x. So this is 25, so that's what, like 1% of 25? I mean, 1% of a mana pool, or of the bar, but since that bar is zoomed in 10x, it actually only uses 0.1% of a mana pool, or thereabouts. The actual amount of mana held in a mana pool is extremely high. So, toss some of that in. Apparently I only had enough mana to make 8. And then later we can start tossing this in. Because this recipe requires a that catalyst. If the catalyst isn't there, this doesn't work. And apparently we have, just enough mana for a few. But every now and then I'll throw these, give them another set of that coal. Did I put the coal away? And that'll keep this mana production going. With our now easily renewable source of slime, let's turn it into this paste stuff. So I just mix it with redstone. Come on. That's not a full stack of redstone. That makes a lot of redstone paste. And then we have to combine that with either diamonds, pure Certus crystal, or gold to directly make the processes. Actually, I really love this crafting recipe. But we also need silicon. So there's a bunch of types of silicon. I think the easiest one is let's see, this is it. If we make a material stonework factory, we can just make silicon from literally nothing. And all this takes is a ball of pink slime in a machine case. So I'm going to make one of these. In fact, I'm going to try to make like maybe 4 of them, because the material stonework factory just happens to be a great cobbleworks. It can make cobblestone for one, but a cobblestone generator can do that. It can do, let's think about the things we need often. Stone, gravel, sand, glass. Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Silicon 5. And then I don't think I need any of these. So 5. I should be able to make 5 of these. I even made 5 bins to hold their output. That's when you know we're splurging, because these cost a basic circuit each. Honestly, at this point, now that my resources they're not quite infinite, but now that they're plentiful, let's go with that. Now that resources are plentiful, you know, a circuit's not that expensive. Especially when these factories cost like multiple circuits, you know, 2 circuits for that plus another circuit for this. So, yeah, circuits, no big deal. Anyways, the first one I have making stone. These are a little bit annoying to configure because you have to tell it to like, nope, can't extract that. Yes, can extract that. Then you can extract that. And then the thing about these mechanism bins is that you actually can't lock them as far as I know. If you want to lock it, you have to, well, don't take the last item out of it, I guess. But that makes stone. Next, we have to, let's see, grind once to make gravel. Yeah. I'm going to configure all of these, hook them up, and then add some upgrades to it. These machines all take the Tesla upgrades. So without them, we see that it takes, 5 seconds per step. That's awful. But once we have the upgrades in them, it's not half bad. And these upgrades are just, you know, a lot of paper, redstone, gold, and a few diamonds. No big deal. When upgraded, they go from, can I shift click them? And yeah. They go to 2 seconds instead of 4 seconds or 5 seconds per operation, and they make 4 items per step. I actually think this is still slower than I'm used to them being. Are they nerfed in this pack specifically? This is what foregoing. Machines. Material stonework factory, yeah. These are 10 times slower than normal. I was about to say, they normally are very fast. But even at 10 times slower than normal, they're still very good cobbleworks. I mean, largely it's set it and forget it, right? So we've set it, and now it just does its thing. But best part is it makes a silicon for free, as opposed to making silicon this way, which requires either quartz or Certus. This processing speed, while it's free, it actually is a lot slower. It's a little bit problematic because, well, just for now, because my buffer hasn't filled up, it takes 3 or 4 operations at 2 seconds each, so 8 operations or 8 seconds to make a batch of silicon. But I mean, I guess it makes, as a result, it makes 1 silicon every 2 seconds. I shouldn't complain because it's free. So let's just make ourselves a small batch of each of the things. So of this one, I need some gold and some diamonds. I might have to process some diamonds for that. No, no, got 20. All right. So it's diamond, this, silicon, and redstone. Cool. So that makes engineering processors. In addition to gold processors. And last but not least, a bit more silicon, would you? I also just like that drawers or bins are shift left to get 1 item. and then left click to get oh, got one too many. Left click to get a whole stack. It's the opposite of the default configurations for drawers, and that always throws me for a spin. Although there probably is a config option to change that. Anyways, oh, I did the wrong one. Whatever, we need the most gold processors anyways. Hey, make one more batch. I noticed that when you hold this thing, you get like this UI. I wonder what it does. It's called redstone paste. I guess it's probably some type of directional redstone thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll waste some later to find out. But for now, calculation processors. All right, so with that, I think we are ready to, we have all the pieces to make the applied energistic stuff. We can make the controller. This is standard controller recipe. I did see that the actual item storage, the storage component here, uses these data storage circuits. So they're not like that bad. We can make them with basic circuits this way, but we can make them far more efficiently with advanced circuits. And turns out advanced circuits are just as basically the same as a basic circuit, material-wise. Oh wait, they're even cheaper since we can make them out of silicon now. One silicon makes two, so just, yeah. Advanced circuits are actually cheaper than basic circuits. That's really funny. But anyways, we are out of time today. So I guess the rest of the applied energistic stuff has to wait until tomorrow. We'll make the ME controller, set up our digital storage, get our terminals, yada, yada, yada. But I will not have to go through all these chests to find my stuff anymore. Thank goodness. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.